This video will contain spoilers for Stellarlune. Hello everyone, my name is Troy and welcome back to the channel. I hope you all are having a great time reading Stellarlune if you haven't finished it already. I just wrapped up reading it a few days ago and I can't wait to start making some content on it. Now, before Stellarlune released, I actually released a video with 20 of my predictions for this book. There will be one additional ability. She has to find Keefe in the human world, and so I think one place that she might check is with Amy and her parents. I also think that Keefe will be in a European country. I also think that in this book, the Neverseen will be kind of tightly tied to the trolls. Today, I'm going to be looking back at my predictions and seeing how many I got right. I'm going to be giving a point for every prediction that I got right, and at the end, I'm going to see how accurate I was. I can't wait to start diving into the book. Please do comment down below some video ideas that you have about Stellarlune. I'll definitely go and read them and respond to you guys. And make sure to leave a like, subscribe down below, and comment if any of your predictions were right. My first prediction was that Sophie would manifest one final ability. Now, that wasn't quite right, so I don't get a point for this one, unfortunately. But I do remember in the book, Sophie does kind of talk about it a little bit. She says that Mr. Forkle might have another ability planned for her. The manifestation window does close, but there is still more ways for her to manifest. There is some conversation about it with Keefe, I believe. So I'm not ruling this one out yet. I'm going to sustain this prediction onto the next book. My next prediction was that the Neverseen will have an early retaliation to their storage house being burned down. I'm going to give myself a half point for this one because it wasn't the Neverseen, but it was Lady Gisela retaliating and blowing up Broomvale as her form of retaliation. This was kind of sad for me because the twin thing was a huge deal, and that place just holds a special place in my heart, especially because Broomvale was like a sanctuary for moonlarks. That is a means for a war. I will say I'm still a little bit confused on how the Neverseen dynamics is working, especially with Lady Gisela leaving. When did the Neverseen cut ties with Lady Gisela and how exactly does that work? We will see Sophie's foster family. Point for me. We did see Amy, and I don't mean like physically see, I meant like they would be in the book in some way. And yes, we did get to see Amy and have a nice conversation with her. Amy served a really cool purpose in the book by introducing the sunken islands. I actually noted that down as soon as I heard about that, and it did come into play at the end if you did read Stellarlune, and so that was really crazy. I really enjoyed that scene with Amy because we got to catch up with her. The sister relationship is something I really cherish in the series, and it was so cool to have more of that. My next prediction was that Keefe would be in a European city when Sophie found him, and that is another point for me. Keefe was in London if you read the book. Also, am I the only one that wants like an Adventures of Keefe in the Human World book? Next, I said someone in the Black Swan will die. I'm not going to get a point for this one, obviously, because we didn't really hear anything from the Black Swan in this book. But I do think it's very possible that someone in the Black Swan will die in book 10, or apparently there's another book 11 now. I'm kind of disappointed that we didn't really get to see much action from the Black Swan, but I'm also glad that we're moving forward and Sophie's becoming the leader because Mr. Forkle, he's getting dry. I also thought the dad reveal would be in Stellarlune. Obviously, this is another thing I did not get right. I do believe that before the series ends, there will be a dad reveal, like 1000%, because Shannon doesn't want to leave her fans questioning that after the fact, but it just didn't happen in this book, and that's okay. And maybe this is connected to Elysian in some way. I thought that the Neverseen would capture Keefe, and I think I might give myself a half point for this prediction because my line of thinking, I think I explained it in the past video, was that Lady Gisela would use Keefe's vulnerability to capture him, and we do find out that Lady Gisela is using this shadow plane to track where Keefe is at every 11th hour, and so that was kind of my line of reasoning. I thought there was a way that Lady Gisela would be able to find Keefe and capture him at any given moment, and although she didn't, she had the ability to. I also thought that Lord Cassius would be instrumental in finding Keefe. I'm gonna give myself a point for this one because Lord Cassius is one of the first people that Sophie actually went to meet with when she was freaking out and panicking and trying to find Keefe in the beginning of the book. Lord Cassius kind of helped in the opposite way that you would think. He basically said it's very random, there's going to be a low chance of finding him, and it might even be safer for him out there, and that deterred her from looking for him and focusing on the more important things so that she could later find Keefe. It kind of just worked out in a way that Lord Cassius was helping by steering her away, and so we support Lord Cassius in this book. I did say Keefe will be found in the first half of the book. That was just not true, so I'm getting an X on this one, no points for this one. It was around, what, page 500, and I actually do plan to make a full video discussing chapter 42, so just wait on that front. Keefe coming back was a very good thing. I'm happy about it. I also thought that Glimmer would backstab the Black Swan, but I was obviously so wrong. She did quite the opposite. She was so helpful, and she's now on the side of the Black Swan. She's teaming with the Black Swan. She was one of the main players in this book, honestly. Like, without Glimmer or Rainy, we would not be where we are right now. Like, setting up the meeting with Trix was instrumental in finding out like where Keefe was and what Lady Gisella's plans are. So we stand Glimmer in this book, and I definitely don't think she's gonna backstab anytime soon. My next prediction was that Jency will become involved in the Black Swan in some way. I'm gonna give myself another half point for this prediction because although he didn't become involved in the Black Swan, he became involved in the book, which was amazing. That's so crazy that Jency had a return. And even though it was kind of like a despairing return, there is a silver lining, there is a glimmer of hope, because Keefe does have the power to kind of turn on or manifest new abilities, and so there's potential for Jency to get his ability through Keefe, and so this is really exciting. I'm really glad that Jency's back, and part of that prediction was just a hope, and my hope was correct and turned out to be true. I predicted that Finton would die in this book. That didn't happen. We did get quite a lot from Finton, and I'm excited about that, like the memories and stuff. That was really cool, but we did not get any death from Finton. We actually got another death. If you know, you know. I put that Sylvanie would aid Sophie in some way. I'm gonna put a check mark for this one. It was kind of like a safe guess, but at the end of the day, Sylvanie was calling out to Keefe and was making connections with Keefe. Keefe ignored, but Sylvanie was helping and reaching out to Keefe in hopes that he would come back, and we love that for her. I also thought that the Neverseen would have ties with the trolls in some way. I'm gonna give myself a full point for this one, because even though it wasn't the Neverseen in specifics, it was Lady Gisella who brokered this like kind of alliance or this truce, gave them some human lands, the human islands. That was crazy. Lady Gisella getting a whole species on her side. That was incredible. Sophie turns against the Black Swan to find Keefe. I'm gonna say no. I don't know. This wasn't really right because Sophie didn't really find Keefe until the last part of the book, so I'm just gonna say I wasn't right for that one. I said that we will find another Neverseen hideout. Not really, because again, like we were kind of working with the Neverseen for this book, which I thought was a really cool twist, and that really makes Shannon such an amazing writer. But no, we haven't seen any more Neverseen hideouts. I also said that we won't see Fitz much in the book. We saw too much of Fitz, so this was incorrect as well. Now, one prediction that I was absolutely 100% perfectly correct in was saying that Sophie will take a leadership role over Mr. Forkel. Sophie was an absolute boss. She became this amazing leader in this book. I mean, her personality evolved so much within these pages, and I'm so excited to see like what even more books bring with her personality and her leadership. But Mr. Forkel had nothing to do with this book, and Sophie had everything to do with this book, so I was 100% correct in saying that Sophie will be the leader of her friends, and her friends will start becoming more relevant than the Black Swan. I also said that Wiley will gain a power or responsibility. I'm also going to put a check mark for this one. Wiley played a huge role in this book because we found Wiley's memory of where the Starstone is. Biana had it. Without this tiny little responsibility that was under all of our noses, Sophie and her friends wouldn't be able to get to the point where they can infiltrate Giselle's plans. Last up, this was kind of a joke. I said we will see Mr. Sweeney. Incorrect, obviously. So I don't know yet, but when I'm editing the video, I will calculate the percentage and the amount of points that I got out of my 20 predictions, and you can see how accurate I am. I feel like I did an amazing job with this book. I feel like I'm getting in the groove of like knowing where the story is going. I've definitely caught on to Shannon Messenger's foreshadowing. So I hope you enjoyed this video. This is really just scratching the bare surface. There's so much to talk about with this book, and I want to hear your thoughts in the comments. Rate Stellarlune out of 5. Tell me your brief thoughts, and I will reply to you guys. I want to start discussing with you in the comments. But yeah, everyone, please do be sure to like a video if you enjoyed my predictions and some of my thoughts on the new book. Subscribe down below. I don't even think I've thanked you for 13,000 yet, and we're at 13,400. This has been our biggest month in terms of growth for our channel, and we really appreciate it. Comment down below your thoughts on Stellarlune, rate it out of 5, and share this video with a friend who also read Stellarlune. I'm so excited to bring some more videos about this book to you. I will see you guys next time. Bye!